Alaska Airlines resumed some of its Boeing 737 MAX 9 aircraft operations on Friday, starting with a flight from Seattle to San Diego. This came after the company said it had completed inspections on the first group of the aircraft. Earlier this month, an Alaska MAX 9 aircraft was forced to make an emergency landing after a cabin panel fell off during a flight full of passengers. The Federal Aviation Administration subsequently grounded over 170 MAX 9 jets across carriers. Alaska Airlines had begun inspections of its first MAX 9s on Wednesday night, after the Federal Aviation Administration approved inspection criteria. Boeing Commercial Airlines President Stan Deal said in a letter to employees that Boeing is now in the process of evaluating hundreds of ideas submitted by employees for quality improvements. A Copa Airlines jet became the first MAX 9 to return to service on Thursday.
Boeing is taking more action to reassure airlines and travellers over the safety of its aircraft. That's after a panel tore off a 737 MAX 9 in mid-air. The Alaska Airlines flight landed without major injuries, but the drama has revived concern over Boeing's top-selling plane. On Tuesday, the firm named retired Admiral Kirkland Donald as its new quality advisor. He will lead a team of outside experts in evaluating quality controls at the firm. Some analysts welcomed the news, but aviation consultant Richard Abulafia told Reuters it was odd to choose an advisor with no background in the industry. The news certainly wasn't enough to save Boeing shares, which sank another 8% or so on Tuesday. They are now down more than a fifth since the start of the year. The US Federal Aviation Administration has grounded 171 MAX jets until further notice. Besides Alaskan, the affected variant is also operated by United Airlines. Boeing has already set out other steps, including allowing airlines to conduct their own checks on the production process. But the incident has ramped up calls for management changes. Ryanair boss Michael O'Leary, one of Boeing's biggest customers, said the firm needed someone cracking heads ensuring quality. US watchdogs say Boeing's MAX 9 jets can fly again, but it's not all good news for the troubled planes. The Federal Aviation Administration lifted a grounding order late Wednesday. The jets had been out of service following the mid-air blowout of a big panel on one operated by Alaska Airlines. Now the FAA says the aircraft can fly again once inspections are completed. That's a big relief to Alaskan and United, the type's two main operators. They've been forced to cancel thousands of flights. But the FAA also barred Boeing from increasing output of the model. Regulators said they wouldn't approve any rise in production until they were satisfied that quality control issues had been addressed. The ruling is a big blow for Boeing, which had wanted to boost output to close the gap with European rival Airbus. Speaking after a meeting with lawmakers, Chief Executive Dave Calhoun sought to reassure travellers.
We believe in our airplanes. We field safe airplanes. Our people do. We have confidence in the safety of our airplanes. And that's what all of this is about. And we fully understand the gravity.
Production of MAX jets was supposed to hit 38 per month by the end of last year, rising to almost 58 per month in late 2025. Now plans to set up an extra production line could be in doubt, with the FAA not saying when its curbs would end. Analysts say the impact of the restrictions could ripple right across the industry, as the MAX jets are a big source of business for suppliers. In better news for Boeing, the company has delivered a MAX to China for the first time since early 2019, a breakthrough for the firm in one of the world's most important aviation markets. Beijing had halted deliveries of the planes following 2 fatal crashes that were traced to a design flaw.
More trouble for Boeing after US watchdogs warned airlines late Sunday to check for loose parts on another model. The recommendation comes after some operators of the 737-900ER reported unspecified issues with bolts during inspections. It has the same optional door plug design as the newer 737 MAX 9, the model used by Alaska Airlines when it suffered a mid-air blowout earlier this month. That led to the Federal Aviation Administration grounding 171 MAX 9 planes for safety checks. In an alert about the 737-900ER, the FAA said some airlines, quote, noted findings with bolts during additional maintenance checks. It recommended air carriers operating that model inspect their planes, specifically the 4 bolts used to secure the door plug to the airframe, as soon as possible. However, it added that the door plug has not been an issue with this model. A Boeing spokesperson said in an email, quote, "We fully support the FAA and our customers in this action." Boeing first delivered the 737-900ER in 2007 and the last one in 2019. As for the MAX 9, the FAA said on Sunday the jets will remain grounded until it, quote, is satisfied they are safe to return to service.
Turbulence kept up for Boeing on Thursday, as U.S. authorities announced an official investigation into the plane maker's 737 MAX 9 jet. That's after a cabin panel tore off an Alaska Airlines flight last week and forced an emergency landing. The Federal Aviation Administration informed Boeing of the probe in a letter on Wednesday, citing, quote, additional discrepancies in other MAX 9 planes. Boeing replied that they would, quote, cooperate fully. Boeing CEO told CNBC on Wednesday that a, quote, quality escape issue led to the MAX 9 in question being approved to fly. The plane maker's shares have dropped more than 10% since the incident. The FAA has grounded 171 Boeing planes with the same panel pending safety inspections and have not said when that order might be lifted. Most of the grounded planes are operated by United and Alaska Airlines. Both airlines reported Monday they had found loose parts on multiple grounded aircraft and have each canceled hundreds of flights this week. It's the latest in a series of events that have shaken confidence in Boeing. In 2019, aviation authorities grounded all MAX planes for over a year and a half after hundreds died in 2 crashes, one in Ethiopia and another in Indonesia, which were linked to poorly designed cockpit software. The crisis eroded Boeing's 50% share of the passenger jet market, and the company ended 2023 behind rival Airbus for the fifth year running. On Thursday, Airbus posted a record number of annual net new jet orders that tallied nearly 800 more than Boeing. Airbus's CEO told reporters it was closely monitoring the investigation of its rival.